Okay. Let's get this going. Holy cow. All right, chat, we're here. Holy cow, that scared me. I shouldn't have done that. Oh my gosh. All right. I was taking a swing in the dark, man. I was like, I don't know what the volume's at. I'm just gonna click the button and see what happens. It was very loud. All right, how we doing? Let me get this pulled up too. Let's see. Okay, what is this? Oh, that's my updates. All right, cool. Leave that up there. We got Graham Glasgow. I saw Graham Glasgow in the chat. Are they doing a presser today? Did that already happen? My man, Vil Lion, did that already take place? I might have to check that out. We might have to check it out on the stream if it's not too long, because I did not know that was a thing. By the way, my Lions fell again right before I started this. Put these back up. There we go. Now it looks good. Yeah, I might have to check that out because I haven't seen that yet. We can look at Graham Glasgow's contract as well today while we're live. That is officially out. So we'll probably take a little peek at that here quickly. Let me see. Sup, homie? What's up, man? Dropping beats? Yes, sir. Hey, that dropped in like crazy. What's good and what up, though? What up, Patty? What up, man? I see you. How much you think Calvin Ridley want? Dang, I think he wants to be the highest paid receiver that's available right now. That's actually an interesting question, though, because, for example, so we saw Mike Williams get released. We look at the LA Chargers and their financial situation. So we could talk about him a little bit, too, because I did revisit some Mike Williams just to get a sense on what he is. Oh, it's upcoming. All right. Good look. I appreciate that. I appreciate you too, Anthony. I see you. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, so I would have to look, to be honest, to see what some of the other deals are. We know Mike Evans got paid. I don't think he's on that level. He's not coming off his strongest season, but I do think that he's the best available free agent receiver, probably for most teams. I guess it depends on what you're looking for, but probably for most teams, he's like top of the market. So I'm assuming he's not going to want to get any less than anybody else that's out there. I think I would like Brown receiver, Marquise Brown. Is Marquise Brown still available? Marquise Brown's an interesting one because I always have so much fun watching him. I don't really see the fit necessarily, right? But I always like watching Marquise Brown. Arizona was kind of a mess last season, but he's fun to watch. That's for sure. Can pick up Reader at the airport and don't leave without. Hey, yo, I saw so many posts just like that on X. And, the rumors are I mean, they're not even rumors. We know that he's visiting on Thursday. We can talk about that more if y'all want to. I put the video out late last night. Also, Eric Armstead is officially released. So that happened. Okay, I guess today that was like the deadline to do it. So, or not the deadline to do it, but that's when it became official. So he's officially available. And also the James Houston stuff. So the deadline was today. And we got the news in. So I wanted to start with that because I was like, I know the deadline was today. I saw him on Over the Cap. So I was like, okay, he's back, I think. But I haven't really seen anybody necessarily report it. The other one that I'm really confused about, because we can take a look at that in a second. The other one that I'm still kind of I want to see if he was brought back or not. I wish there was like a list of this. I feel like this didn't really get posted. Did KO not get? I don't think KO got brought back. And to me, KO was the other guy that stood out when you talk about the exclusive rights free agents. That was like, hey, if we're going to bring these guys back, definitely James Houston, which did happen. So yes, breaking news, bam. James Houston is back as an exclusive rights free agent for this upcoming season. We know there's no guarantees there. It's a league minimum. There's really no, I saw Carlton Davis is going to go. Oh, they, how they have that whole buildup though. So that thing will take a hot minute, but he's back. There's no guarantees there. League minimum. There's really no negotiation that takes place, but he is going to be back for this next season. It's funny. I was talking to Michael Banks before I got on here, and he was talking about Betts, the CFL player, which we will have a video out on. I just don't think it's the best time to drop it because it's free agency right now. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could, but that'll be there at some point, probably more when it's kind of downtime. KO'd is back. KO'd's back. See, now y'all got me hyped. He was brought back for Justin Rogers. Okay. See that? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna actually pull that up then. I'll pull it up there. We can talk about the free agency things in a second, but this is priority right now. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So they got the whole list. Okay, nice. Lions tendered 1 of 6 restricted free agents, Brock Wright. Okay, we know that. And either signed or tendered 5 of 6 exclusive rights free agents, including James Houston and KO'd. All right, there we go. The other ones that we already knew of the other ones. I can't think on the top of my head what they were, but we know the other. So one of them was not. I'm trying to think of who that would be top of my head. I know Zonovan Knight was one. Craig Reynolds was the other. Don't know who the fifth one was. Someone in the chat will know it. And then there's one, I guess, that wasn't. Not tendered, Khalil Dorsey, Jerry Jacobs, restricted free agent. Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas was an exclusive rights free agent. That was the one that wasn't tendered. Chase Lucas, Scott Daly. I feel like he was a restricted free agent, Benito Jones, and then Anthony Pittman. So I'm going to actually share this on the screen. That way everybody can see it if anybody's trying to figure out what's going on. This is actually the perfect time to go live. I didn't know this just dropped. I just knew that this was something I was looking out for. So shout out to Justin Rogers. I'll leave that on the screen for a second. So everybody that's joining, Lions fans, can see this. And they're like, all right, here we go. Yes, KO'd is back. I'm hyped for that. KO'd, like, he really improved throughout the year. Obviously, he played in a big spot for us. He wasn't a guy that I would say come into this year, let him be your starter. Like, that's not the goal. But if he had to start, we saw it. Like KO held it down. He did his thing. He was fine. He's improved. That's been the biggest thing with KO, is that he's continued to get better. So that's massive. And then the James Houston one, I was just worried about that because I was like, with them bringing Betts, are they like not going to bring James Houston back for some reason? I was like, there's no risk. Why would you not bring him back? They brought him back. So we're good. So there you go. Yeah, no, Benito Jones was not brought back yet. Hey, I like Benito Jones too. That means he's then set to become an unrestricted free agent. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, these players on the bottom, not tendered, right? So yeah, I think he's just going to be an unrestricted free agent. And then, like I said, the two others would be Craig Reynolds and dang, I'd slipped in my mind. Now that I'm trying to say that loud. Craig Reynolds, Chase Lucas was not tendered. And then you also had, okay, there needs to be a list because I'm forgetting right now. We have James Houston, we have KO'd, we have Craig Reynolds. I just said it and I don't remember it. And then there's another one. Shane Zylstra. Shane Zylstra was one, but we don't know what that was. Shane Zylstra was one, and then there was a fifth one. I already said it. Don't remember who it is. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Shane Zylstra was the other one, though. So there you go. It'd been great to have like a list of this. I should have came up with a list of this. This is Anthony Pittman. Well, no, Anthony Pittman's not. I'm trying to remember the guys that were tendered, but yeah, Anthony Pittman was not tendered. And that's actually an interesting one because we had heard rumor that they were trying to bring, well, actually, timeout. I don't think Anthony Pittman was ever actually brought back. Actually, now that you're saying that. Yeah, because Anthony Pittman, that was one that the rumor was the Lions were trying to bring him back. And then I guess nothing happened there. Yeah. Oh, Zonovan Knight. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you, Zonovan Knight. Okay, so there you go. With no Jones means we're getting D-line at some point, right? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely at some point. Armstead, yes, he's officially available now, Reader, although Reader might not be ready till week 6. Actually, so here's the thing. I'm going to have a we'll see. I actually don't want to spoil that. I'm going to leave that where it is. You also have Armstead, who had, I believe he had surgery. I don't know if he actually did or not. I didn't find the confirmation that he actually did, but I know after the season that he had come out and said that during the playoffs, he was playing through a meniscus injury because he had missed 5 games, returned for the playoffs, said he was playing through a meniscus injury, said he was going to have surgery right after the season. So I don't know that officially actually happened or not. I would assume it did, that it happened right after the season. And obviously now he's been let go. And he's a guy that over the last couple of seasons, 21 games played, but before that he was pretty consistently out there for every single game. So, okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Carlton is live. Do we want to switch to that? We can switch to that. I don't think it'll be that long. We can go to it. But also, here's the other thing too. I might throw that up. I want to look at Graham Glasgow's contract while we're here. Okay, hold on. Let me not unplug this. Hopefully that didn't unplug. Boom. Okay, that should be good. Yo, Carlton Davis looking crazy with that jacket on. That looks so comfortable, bro. Oh my goodness, I can't even hear it. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know what's going on with that. I was gonna share it on the screen. Chat, do y'all want to see that? Put a 1 if you guys want to see the Carlton Davis thing. If not, I don't need to throw it up there. It's fine. I'm not really. I don't need to see it either, to be honest. But if y'all want to see it, we can show it. I'll show it. I can't hear it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That might be a Lions End thing. I don't know. There's a chance that they don't have their audio right. So I don't know. Y'all want to see it? Okay, I can throw it on the screen. Is that me? Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, maybe it's because I'm sharing a screen. Maybe that's why I can't hear it. Also share tab audio. Yeah, do that.
And get in the building before I start talking.
Yeah, there's straight up no audio to this.
But this is a great organization, and it's going It's like trending. It's trending upward. So I would love to be a part
I
of a
mean, do y'all hear
dynasty where
anything?
we can
I don't
go and
hear
win
anything.
multiple championships
I
over
don't
the
know if
next
this is
couple of
just me or
years,
not
man.
because I
That's
can't hear
one
it.
of my
So I
goals,
don't know.
is to
It looks
create
good.
something that
It looks good. We got the Dose of Dion logo
is
up there. It
kind of
looks
like the
good. I just can't hear
Lakers,
nothing. I'm gonna pull
it's
up
kind
my.
of
Oh, you
like
guys can hear it?
what all the dynasties did back in the day, Chicago
I'll stop
Bulls.
talking.
And I think they have a nice
I'm gonna
young
try to get to that.
roster, great coaching staff, great culture here to do it. Honestly, even when we won it
I
back
got it.
in Tampa, you just kind of see the same similarities here, but younger players, here. So there's a lot of growth.
You hit on it a little bit. You have said you're open to it, or
Oh yes,
yeah, okay.
definitely open to it for sure.
You hit on it there. You have been to the top of the mountain this league. When you experienced that success, what did you learn about what it takes to reach that pinnacle?
Man, you got to be able to weather the storm, be poised in all situations. Obviously, trust your teammates, and accountability is huge, man. Everybody has to do their part consistently, and be able, like I said, to overcome obstacles, man, because it's never going to be a smooth ride, and you're never going to always have it your way. Games can go either way. Momentum always changes, but you got to be resilient, which this team has shown many times. And even coming up short, man, they were so close, So it's the little things that matter. It's the details. It's the small details that eventually gets you to where you want to be at.
You mentioned you want to be a lockdown corner, deny one side of the field. You haven't played a full season in your career so far, and I don't think you've been known as that precisely. What gives you confidence that you can be that here this year?
Well, I've done it before. I've done it, taking guys out the game before. Check the film. Turn on the Tampa Bay film. Turn on me against top receivers and see their stats when I'm on them, not when they're in zone, not when they're in the slot running away from me, not when I'm in zone, when I'm man-on-man press. Turn on that film, and then let me know what you think.
Hey, okay, I like that. I like that.
Guy that you can point us to.
You can go to
our game.
What year? Pick a year. I'll give you a game.
Yo, he's savage.
Last year?
He's savage, dog. Hey,
who was last year?
bring up our game.
Last year?
Our game, bro.
Who did have a good game against last year? Man,
that was the worst year of. Why they put him on the spot like that, though? This is supposed to be it.
About it.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but any game that just stands out to you.
No, I didn't even play the Packers game. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dog.
Yeah,
this is a train wreck, chat.
Hard to recall it. I mean, I've had great games against Detroit, Atlanta.
There you go. Just bring up our game, bro.
The Panthers, Saints. Just turn the film on. There's so many games you can just watch.
He didn't want to say the Lions.
Detroit, but if you ever turn on the Tampa Bay film, there's a reason why I'm here and like why they wanted me to be here. So yeah, if you do your research,
just your personality, just off the field, what you're into, what do you want people to know about you outside of the football player?
I'm a cool guy, man, family man. Just a regular dude outside, man. I love being a dad. Love golfing from time to time. Into music. Pretty chill, man. There's nothing that's really like stand out as far as like me just wanting to be a better person every day.
A lot of left side play for you the last few years. I don't know if that was a coaching decision, a preference. What is it about the left side that's been a good question?
Yeah, the left side is typically where they throw the ball at mostly. There's a lot of right-handed quarterbacks. If you flip it, that's the left side of the defense. So typically you send your best corner to the left side.
Doing your study, what was your impressions of watching Jameson Williams on film?
A deep ball guy, fast, still coming into his own, crafting, but has like a huge ceiling that he can get to.
This team played a lot more zone. It's kind of where the league has gone, playing more zone. You've had a lot of success
Shout out to
playing
Justin.
in zone. So what is it that makes you a good, I guess, both man and zone corner?
Film study, honestly. Knowing what's about to come and understanding how a team is trying to attack you in certain coverages.
How did you develop that process through college and the pros?
Experience, understanding what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, they did get him on that
coaches,
cover 3 touchdown. They did
just
get
trying
him
to be a student of the game, trying to be
man the
better,
safety,
you know?
but it was crafty.
And film study is something that every player will get better at. Once you understand the game more, it becomes slower. You see things faster. You react faster because you've seen it plenty of times. Concepts start to repeat themselves. Teams start to develop an identity. You start to see what they like, what they don't like, what they like to do on third down, what they like to do during sudden change. What's their red zone go-to route? Who's their favorite player to throw to on third down? You know, what they do when pressure's coming. Do they like to get the ball out quick? Are they trying to run the ball? Like, there's different things you start to develop, and you keep that in mind while you're playing.
I love this guy.
You mentioned how you want to be a lockdown corner for this team, but with that title can often come the title of being a leader for a defense. How would you describe the way you are a leader and your leadership style to other players?
I'm a show first, talk later. I hate people who want to talk and just try to gain people respect by just using their mouth, because honestly action speaks louder than words. So I want to show them first, this is how you do it, and then when I speak there'll be a lot more weight behind my words. So yes.
All right.
After the trade, took to Twitter and was like, "You guys are getting a dog," something like that.
Yeah.
For the people in Detroit. I don't know if you talked to him or anyone else. Just advice they gave you here, the relationship that you may have with them about.
Oh yeah, Carry On's just like he's my boy. Me and him go way back. Since Auburn, we came in together.
Come on, Carry On.
Yeah, I love him, man. But yeah, he knows me. Huh? Not really. We didn't really touch up on it. He texted me congratulations. Haven't really spoke to him too much about it. Because I've been so busy just doing the other things. Hopefully I'll get around to it. But I've heard great things about this place. Obviously me being a Florida boy, gotta adjust to this cold weather, but it's all a part of the job description, so it's nothing for real.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, chat. Hold up. It says thanks for watching. I don't know if there's someone said Graham was gonna have one. He probably will. We may or may not watch that one. I mean, look, to be honest with you, there's probably going to be a super short one. It'll be like, hey, man, how happy are you to be back? That kind of thing. But that was awesome. I'm glad that happened right when we went live. I'll keep an eye on the background. If they do start the next one, we can throw it up here. That was cool. I mean, I was just taking some notes that he was saying. Cold weather, it's 72 out right now. Is it 72? Hey, yo, he was in Tampa. So if he brought up cold weather, I didn't hear him bring that up, but he may have. But I love that. And they tried to stump him. They didn't try to stump him on that question. He did say I'll just pull the film, but I did love that, especially when he was talking about specifically, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but when you talk about developing the tendencies, these guys do it to a whole extreme that obviously I can't do and they don't do, and I don't do, but you can see it. Even when we do our preview videos, a lot of that process of me just putting together my preview video is just watching a team play and then marking what they do by down. If I mark them by what they do every single down, you start to get a tell that, oh, okay, this is what they like to do. So I only get the surface level kind of thing. They're getting all the detail side of it. And I got to believe, man, corner is that, times 100. It's all about that specifically because, I mean, today, someone brought up playing all this zone specifically. You're talking about playing all this zone specifically, and you talk about all the concepts that when we watch not Brad Holmes, but when you watch what Ben Johnson has for other teams, it's oh, we feel like you're in this coverage, Bob, we're about to go to this. So if you can feel that and you're okay, they might have a sense of what we're trying to do in this spot, then I can play outside of my zone. As I unplug my mic again, hold up, let me get that plugged in. We're good. But I will say that is one of the, I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, no. That is one of the things that he checks as well as all the other corners that we've talked about at this point. I know I've said it a few times, but man, ball skills. And I think a lot of that does start with, we talk about eye discipline, recognition, awareness. That's where it starts for most players. I think especially at the NFL level. Now you can get hit with that. They'll cook you for that, for being a little aggressive. But on the flip side, like that's how you're going to take the ball away, man. Because you're not going to get as many passes just thrown into harm's way where you have an opportunity to just take the ball away. You have to create opportunities. You have to overlap zones. You know what I mean? Like you can't just sit in your zone and let opportunity. They won't come to you. Not in the NFL. Maybe more in college. When you get passes overthrown and you're playing as a deep outside corner. And it's like, all right, he just threw it to me. You just don't get those in the NFL like that. So that's been like one of the most significant differences. It feels like my man said, definitely an upgrade with this corner position as a whole. Every corner that we're seeing us bring in, they all have knocks, but what they all also have is the ability to take the football away. And to what, Chad was saying, big corner. He is a big corner. Yes. And I'm very excited to do our full breakdown of him because like I said, you just go to that Lions game, he was cooking. I mean, you wouldn't just look at a game, just watch him play the Lions. For real, he played really well in that game. You got to see a lot of variety of what he could bring to the table. And it was like, okay, okay, we got you. Happy with Davis. And someone brought up the 14 mil. So, yeah, the cap hit, it's a little expensive. But also, again, 14 mil is essentially base salary. So you have that aspect too. He's on the final year of this contract, which is why you are where you are there financially. And because, usually the back end of contract is going to be a little bit higher, but it also, it opens up the flexibility. So for the Lions, they saved $2 million with John Kaminsky. As long as they have enough money, which they will this offseason because of how they set the contracts up. Speaking of that, let's go to Graham Glasgow. This is a perfect segue because while you have a guy like that, cap number's high, it's all about the timing. So when we want to talk about timing, how about we look at a guy like this, right? Graham Glasgow and his contract. And this matters because it affects how much you can spend on a guy like that, how much you have to offer. So let's pull it down a little bit here. I'm actually going to make myself a little bit smaller because you can't see nothing. All right, yeah, so I just want to showcase this. So Graham Glasgow's contract details were put out there. We'll use over the cap because it's easier to look at. Spotrac can be a little bit smaller. But specifically, man, I mean, it's just the simple stuff you take away immediately. Look at the cap number for 2024. It's 3.3 mil. All right, and he signed a 3-year, $20 million deal. So just on average, my math, which isn't even that good. I mean, it's really not. Just under 7 mil. What's that? 6.7 a year. Okay, come on now. Stop it. But basically what I'm saying is, so half of that is essentially his cap number this year as normal. Base salary's low. You have the signing bonus, which spreads through the 3 years that's going on here. So you have that aspect, but they just dropped the heck out of the base salary. You have guaranteed salary is going to be locked in year 1. Year 2, there is actually a slight out that they created here in year 2. And that's where you start to get roster bonuses coming into play. You have $1 million total there. Again, if he was cut early with the dead cap, you'd have the signing bonus. You have the roster bonus as well. You have the $1 million guaranteed salary. So there's still an out here, 3.1 save, 4.6 dead. There's also potentially opening up more opportunities with the 5.5 base salary to move some money around if you had to next season. So there is still a potential out. Sometimes these deals get a little bit bigger. The second year, they're kind of still locked in too. You can see the cap percentage is similar for where they're projecting it. And then obviously year 3, $7 million cap savings if he was cut. So they give themselves a big out. This is just how they set up a lot of their contracts. A lot of these 3-year deals, you see it like this, and then it just fluctuates a lot of times between if the number is high enough, maybe there's a void year that gets in there. By the way, we haven't seen as many void years, and we'll see because it's so early in the process. Some of these deals will start to kind of pour in, but we haven't. I don't know if the Davenport details are out now, but it wasn't on Mosley's deal. It's not here on Graham's deal. You wonder if the Lions are going to be able to kind of pull away from some of the void years. But as we see, usually with bigger deals, they'll start to come into play. But as usual, Lions follow the process that they usually follow with contracts. And there you go. So there you go. Okay. He playing for a contract, he's going to show up. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good point because it's not even just for us. It's for anybody on the market. But yeah, I mean, I do love it. And it's like the cap number looks high, but it's not really super important. Again, there could be flexibility there too, but it's not really super important as long as you time it up right. And if you really look at where the Lions are timing, we're talking about all the extensions, that's not affecting right now. So he's going to be fine. Now that the new season has started, and by the way, if a guy like Reeder was signed, I would expect, again, the highest cap number will not be year 1. Now that the new season has started, I expect extension, St. Brown, Goff, etc. as well. I agree, Marshall. I think those are on the way. I do wonder a little bit, and I don't know on top of my head. I would have to look into this a little. Maybe you guys know in the chat, but there's a possibility, right, that next year, there could be more patience. It doesn't have to happen immediately just because you can now negotiate after the 3rd season of a rookie contract if you were a drafted pick. That you wait a little bit on some of them. Like they don't have to happen immediately. Obviously, you don't want them to become available. I take Hunter Renfrow, 2 years, $9 million to be a backup slot. I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you. I mean, look, Hunter Renfrow, statistically, is not at his best. I can remember talking about Hunter Renfrow, I think back in, was that the trade deadline? We talked about Hunter Renfrow? I think it was. We have Khalif back. He'll play both. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Him not being able to answer a game, a play to good wide receiver was It's out. Test. I don't know why I keep doing that. I got to stop doing that. Hold up. Make sure my audio is good. We were all thinking Jamar Chase. I wasn't thinking Jamar Chase. I haven't seen him play Jamar Chase, so I don't even know. Someone did bring that up in the chat, though, so that's why I said that. Like I said, I would just say bring up our game. I watched our game, and I was like, he played his butt off against us. So that alone. And the cool thing was he matched up against a lot of different players, right? So you had St. Brown one-on-one in that game, and he took him away. You had Laporta in that game, pass breakup on a first down. So you had multiple different matchups that he had to deal with in that game. Is Josh Reynolds worth more than $8 million per year? That's a tough one. $8 million per year. I would say, oh boy, I guess it depends on the team, but I would say, yeah. I think for depending on the team, you could see that, especially where you're seeing some of the deals go. You saw guys like Darnell Mooney. What did he get, 13 per year? So I would say yes. Hunter Renfro's unathletic. No, he's super unathletic, but he's also effective in a slot because that you don't get a lot of flexibility maybe outside of it. And then, in today's NFL, everything's so condensed, but 2022 versus Chase. All right. Well, I'm excited to watch that. That might be the first game I watch when we do our breakdown video, just so y'all know. Okay. So, as I touched on, Armstead was released. That was what got us, started today. Well, not really started, but we also recently have some other news. So I'm going to share this on the screen too. Let me go. And as someone said, I won't go into that. All right. Here you go. Adam Schefter. We see you doing work. This was the most recent thing that popped off right before we went live. One guy I'll point out to this would be Jerry Tillery. Now, I don't really think that he would be someone the Lions are interested, but if you were trying to find out of that mix, Hunter Renfrow, right? We have that. Jerry Tillery's also in this mix as well. So this was like the last thing that happened. We also saw Mike Williams get released by the LA Chargers. Financially now they're under the cap. So those are the two things that I kind of have that we could touch on a little bit here specifically. So Jerry Tillery, and look, Jerry Tillery, I think he had some buzz around the trade deadline in particular. I think he did this past season, 29 pressures. Dang. Okay. I unplugged it again. All right. We're good. I'm just not going to touch it. We're good. I'm not going to touch it. But I think what has Tillery done lately, I haven't paid any attention to him. Yeah. So I honestly think last year was one of his best seasons. I think statistically speaking, it actually was one of his best seasons. It feels like Tillery's just kind of trying to figure it out. He is a weird body type. He's 6'6". He was 6'6", 295 coming out. I don't even know if he's 295 right now. You could definitely see when you look at him, he looks a little bit more on the slimmer side when you watch him. But at the same time, because of that height, he brings a really good arm length. He plays a lot of different roles too. He actually did this back in college. Like he wouldn't just plug in as like a interior defensive lineman consistently as a 3 technique. He would kick around, bounce around. When I look at Jerry Tillery, man, I feel like he's very effective when he's able to play in those wider alignments on early downs, even though the size would suggest like, okay, he's probably built to be like a 3-4 DN. He's got the length, but then when you watch him, and you see inconsistencies to me with holding his ground, right? Being able to lock out, actually get off box consistent. I think the technique can get super messy when I watch him. But one thing's for sure with Tillery, and this is something that he carries, and it's valuable, right? It is valuable. He can get pressure. So as I touched on, 29 pressures this past season alone, and he does have ways to win, right? He carries flexibility within his game. You get second effort wins when you watch him. Inside, his get off can be a little hit and miss, but when you put him on the interior, like, for example, he played the Bears this past season. I remember watching that game. Bears, he had a really strong game against the Bears. And it doesn't always look pretty, but he can get after the quarterback. He played us this past year as well. So he's, that's a game that's worth taking a look at. Didn't perform as well in that game, but we have a better offensive line. So you do have ways to win as a pass rusher, tied along with the length. Upper body strength is real as well. And you could see that the initial pop that he creates against offensive linemen, that does open up some of the stack and shed. I thought that really popped when you play wide and you play the run. You'd see it like, for example, so you'd see in goal line situations, he was definitely not the guy that would kick in the interior. He'd kick out wider. So he'd play like on your tight end, right? He'd play like a 7 or a 6. But in those spots, he was effective. He was effective in those spots. I think when you push him more to the interior, you get definite hit and miss results, like handling double teams or just leaving gaps, for example. You get more hit and miss results there. And I think, balance can also show up as a real issue. As someone said, he's got a weird body type. He is kind of weird in that sense. Like, you know what I mean? He's a very linear type of player. It's the same thing as a pass rusher. It's also just his build kind of in general. He's very tall. I don't think he's as natural in his body as certain guys are. Like Calais Campbell's a giant, but he looks natural in the way that he does it. Eric Armstead's a giant, but he looks natural in the way he does it. This guy feels like it's not as fluid even though he's more of an upright playmaker, but he is coming off a strong season. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll pull up the exact stats. Let's get the exact stats of Jerry Tillery. All right. So yeah, this past season, Jerry Tillery. So I know he has 29 pressures this last year. Yes. And this was with the Vegas Raiders. I think that was by a trade. I think he was actually traded to the Raiders. Could be wrong though. Maybe that was just a cut and they picked him up. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I think they did just cut him and pick him up this season. He also had 13 run stops this past year, and he did that in 500 snaps. So 283, what percent of the 29 pressures would be basically 290 snaps? So it's about 10% pressure rate, right? 10%. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. Just to put that kind of number out there, right? So I can remember as Hungry Panda said, shout out to Hungry Panda, I give Tillery a one year, $3 million deal. And honestly, his market, I wouldn't think would be much bigger than that because, there's other guys that can rush the passer. He's not an elite pass rusher, but at the same time, it's like he's still young enough. Like Jerry Tillery is not an old player. I think he's 27. Yes, he's 27 years old. So he would fit into the prove it deal kind of market. Like that's where he would fit right now. So I don't know. I'd keep my eye on Jerry Tillery. I wouldn't count the option out. I would doubt it because I don't think it's a natural fit, but I wouldn't count it out. According to Ian Rappaport, okay, what happened? Chat, y'all are like, make some breaking news had to happen. It had to happen. All right, let me go to Ian Rappaport. See, I thought Adam Schefter was going to hold it down. I might have to go back to my man Dav or whatever his name was. I think that's what his name was. Yeah, Calvin Ridley turns 30 years old. Titans are. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, chat, I see y'all. Okay, let's share it. Bam. Is the beat too loud? Also, let me know. If the beat's too loud, I'll turn it down. I like it. It gets me fired up. But anyway, let's see. So here we go. Ian Rappaport. Titans are signing Jaguar star Calvin Ridley. 29-year-old gets 4-year, $92 million, $50 guaranteed. The Titans. Okay, now honestly, that does make sense. Lost connection to my mic. Okay, we're good. I don't know why that, but anyways, the Titans had like the worst receiving core in football. On it, their best receiver really was DeAndre Hopkins. They weren't getting the production out of their draft pick out of Arkansas, whose name slipped in my mind. So I guess if there's a team that you would tell me that's paying him, and again, I don't think Ryan Tannehill's on a roster. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent now, so they're not paying a quarterback. That would make sense. 4 years, $90 million. What is that per year, chat? 23. Boy. Well, the question of whether or not he was the top receiver on the market, the money says that he was. Now, there's no way in heck I would have given him $23 million, bro. I'll lay that out there. Or not 23. No way in heck I would have paid him that much. No way as a Lions fan would I have wanted us to do that. But that does take him off the board. It takes one of the needy teams for receiver off the board. And now I think Josh Reynolds is arguably the best receiver that's out there. But actually take that back. Mike Williams is still available. Mike Williams didn't really play much this past year, but Mike Williams is still really good when he's on the field. And we could talk about him a little bit as well because, we're just dipping in every option. Who's the Titans quarterback now? It would be, and I'm assuming they would draft somebody. Did they? I think they signed somebody, though. Actually, we can double check on that. It would be Will Levis, but I think they signed somebody. See, and that's the thing, right, Josh? So someone said 8 a year. I mean, if this dude's making 20 plus a year, I will say though, there is a significant difference. I think between the two. And actually, let me do this. Let me hold up. Okay, yeah, Calvin Ridley. Oh, we can't get his. Oh, I'm on offense. My bad. Let me get his stats from last year. Let me get his stats. There we go. Yeah, so Calvin Ridley last season had 1,000 yards, just over 1,000, 8 touchdowns, 76 receptions. I know that he had some drops in there this past season. See how many he was actually marked with. He was marked with 7 drops this past year. So, yeah, that was the biggest issue. So, I mean, statistically speaking, I would say the biggest difference between him and Josh is while Josh could arguably be the second best receiver, big difference is you could view Ridley as still a number 1 receiver. You absolutely could do. There's teams that could do that. The age at 29, but you could view him as a number 1 receiver. The route running, he's got enough size to be a typical number 1 receiver as well at 6'1". he's a much more well-rounded piece in that sense. So I think there is a gap there, even though Josh Dwee would be now the best receiver that's on the market outside of Mike Williams. You also, Marquise Brown. Don't forget Marquise Brown. Even though there's been, hit and miss there as well. It's different. I would say that it's different. Like Calvin Ridley we'll say this, right? Because Mike Williams coming off missing almost the entire season last year. Calvin Ridley was the number one receiver. I don't view Josh Reynolds as a number one receiver. He's a wide receiver, but he's not a number one receiver. If the Bengals got Armstead, I'm stoked. You're stoked? Wait, Chad, are y'all serious? So hopefully, here's what I'll say. We were hoping to get a Bengals guy on here soon, and we'll have to make that. We'll see if we can make that thing work. To a guy that I've done some shows with. If we can make that work, that'd be great. And especially if it's before. I mean, even if it's after, if we were able to land Reader and we could talk about it. Go to Armstead real quick. But he one thing that he brought up to me last night was Cincinnati has nobody on the interior. They have essentially nobody there. He said they had BJ Hill under contract, and that was it. All right, they have nobody on the interior at all. And then we saw today San Fran, who was very thin on the interior, went out and traded for Malik Collins. So they added a piece through a trade. The interior defensive line's light right now. I don't see anything on Armstead right now, but I'm keeping an eye on it. If you guys have a source, throw it in there. Burjeff Risden, they talked to him at the Senior Bowl. Are you talking about Armstead? You wanted Malik Willis too overall. Now you don't hear his name anymore. Yeah, that was not it. It's unfortunate, for him. He didn't ask for all that. What up, though? What up, Michael? Hey, Michael, by the way, bro. So I got to say this, Michael. So yesterday I was looking for that clip from the video that I posted last night where I talked about DJ Reader, and I found the clip, and on the comment section, you were the top comment. So I was like, oh, snap. And I clicked on it, and you were talking about Braden Fisk, and I was like, oh, okay, sweet. So, that's still someone that I need to watch more of. I watched more of him recently just to get more of a sense on. I still got to watch more of it. And I won't go into that here, but I just want to give you a shout out because I do appreciate you, the activeness in the comment section. I saw you on the top there. I was like, that's sweet. That means DJ is a lock. DJ Chark. Okay, hey, weird thing. I had a dream that we signed DJ Chark last night. I woke up to that. Like we re-signed DJ Chark for some reason. I don't know why, but we did. So, I don't know. Look, DJ Chark, there's still value there, bro. There's still value for teams. Teams will still find value in that. But yeah, he's not going to hit that number either. He's also probably a one-year deal again. He was also in just a mess of an offense, though, so I sort of feel bad for him. You think Armstead goes to the Houston Texans? Armstead goes to the Texans. We can look at it. Here, let me do this. Let me do this because the Texans have been making moves. Obviously, last night they made the Danielle Hunter. Oh boy, yeah, they could. I'm looking at it. After trading Malik Davis, you look at that interior. It's yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense. Yikes! Wow, I don't even know some of those guys, to be honest with you. So yeah, I could see it. Now, they had Sheldon Rankins. He's their big free agent that I guess is gone on the interior of the defensive line. But they also found a way to make that work. They found a way to make him work in there. Armstead would probably be an upgrade for them, to be honest, because he can do both. Does any news on Kevin Zeitler and where he's rumored to go? That's a good question. I haven't seen anything on it. I've kind of peaked the guard position out specifically just because I think it's so light and it kind of feels like it's narrowing down the options to where lines could actually go. That I haven't seen anything on guard news. It's just kind of gotten quiet for me. Well, I haven't seen anything. If y'all have, let me know. I just haven't seen nothing. Kevin Zeitler might also wait, being a veteran. He could probably just kind of chill out. I don't know if it'd be better for him to sign now or wait till after the draft. He might wait. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, pull this up real quick. Oh, okay. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. I know who this is. 3013. All right. Yeah, we were on. He's the guy that makes these graphics. I was wondering who was making these graphics. I'm like, these look kind of slick. Okay. Bears made a quarterback move. They grabbed Brett Rippon. All right. So there you go. There's some news. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Okay. So Mike Williams. Yes, they're keeping Khalil Mack. Shout out to Hard Panda, brought that up. Keeping Khalil Mack. They had to restructure his deal, but now they're under the salary cap. They had to get under that. So Mike Williams is now a free agent. Also, before we get to that, defensive line, because we're talking interior defensive line. Dan Skipper can replace Jonah. Ah, dang. Hey, yo, I was hyping up Dan Skipper. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know about all that. But yeah, interior defensive line. So I checked out a couple players just to kind of get a sense if there was anybody else on the market that intrigued me. One that does intrigue me a little bit. Again, it'd be a 1 year. It'd be a very cheap deal. It'd be a prove it deal. And I'm gonna be honest, it was a struggle, bro. It was a real struggle. Like it was Tim Settle. Really, one of the biggest perks for him is he's 26 years old, coming from the Buffalo Bills. Graham's at the podium. All right, I'll pull that in the background. We may or may not throw that up. But yeah, Tim Settle was one of those dudes for me because, hey, KO did play. KO was fine. He was fine, but he's improved. That's the big thing. KO's continued to improve. Honestly, right now, with who's out there on the market, KO might be a better option than who's actually on the market. Hey, you brought in Nitain Mutai really before free agency popped off on a futures deal. He might be better than who's actually out there and available outside of like Kevin Zeitler, guys like that who are like, those guys can play right now. Going to miss Jonas at East left guard and draft. Absolutely. Yeah, though there's a lot of let me get this. There's a lot of offensive line options. Especially if you were willing to do it in the first round with the Lions pick. I'm gonna pull up this Graham Glasgow thing. Let's see what he's got the Michigan jacket on. That looks clean. All right.
But keep him on a short leash.
I'm just wondering if the sting from the loss and now a couple months later, just if you could work, what kind of fire you're feeling now, moving forward potentially now with this team.
Oh boy,
getting to the next step and maybe even beyond.
Yeah, let me know if I need to turn it down, bro. That's loud.
Yeah, that was another part of why I kind of wanted to come back. I feel like when you have a really, really good season with a good team and then things don't end the way that you want them to go, I feel like you'd like to come back. You want to come back. You want to try and get another crack at it. I play video games. You don't want to end on a loss, right? You want to try and end on a win. So I feel like coming back here and being able to do that and having an opportunity to come back and have another crack at it is really good.
You surprised that you're going to have Ben Johnson and Hank back as well? At the end of the season, did you think that was likely?
I thought there was a chance that Ben could leave, and if Ben left, maybe Hank would leave. But I think that after talking to him, I thought that definitely he was going to leave, probably like before we played that game. And I feel like kind of the same reason that I had just talked about, like when you lose a game like that and you have a chance to win, and you definitely want, as I said, another crack at it. And I feel like Ben felt the same way,
man.
And I guess we're all back. Not to say that Hank, Ben, and Graham, we're all back, yeah. But I think you understand what I'm getting at. So.
Yo, I feel bad. I feel like I missed the entire thing. I feel like it had to be short. It had to be short. I hope I didn't miss the entire thing. That he plays Alzheimer's. That had to be the entire thing, bro. I feel like we just okay. I guess that was it. Stop unplugging, Mike. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're good. And bro need a new mic. Now this is facts. I probably, you know what I need? I need a new cord, bro, because maybe I gotta do one of these numbers. Maybe I gotta like put it up. That way it's like naturally glue that mic in. See, this is why we're here. This is why I'm live. I don't get this if I just record a video. You know what I mean? So now I know. Okay, I appreciate that. Maybe we'll put some tape on it too, just to make sure. But yeah, so like Mike Williams released, and this past season, 19 receptions, 25 targets, 249 yards, had a touchdown, 120 pass rating when targeted. So then I went back a year. I'm like, all right, was he cooking too? What up, Josh? How you doing, man? What up, bro? Brad cooking? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen. Yeah, last year, 39 receptions, 90 targets, 889 yards, 4 touchdowns, 107.4 pass rating. Haven't watched enough, especially of that 2022 season. Super glue into the inlet. Bro, hey, we got to do what we got to do. Mike quits more. Dang, bro. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. It just started being an issue. I just can't touch it. I like moving it around. I feel fancy when I move it around. I got to stop doing that. Got to stop. So Noah Brown actually got re-signed. This was a name that I didn't officially put on any list, but I did watch him a little bit because that dude can go. But yeah, Noah Brown officially re-signed, I believe, with the Houston Texans. So Mike Williams, the biggest thing that stuck out was like the limited touchdown numbers. But when you watch him, you see him still get a lot of targets, whether that's like deep crossers in the back of the end zone or just throw it up to him and throw it up to the back of the end zone. Like he still gets a lot of shot plays. There was a lot of opportunities that I saw where he was double teamed and the ball still went up for him. Shout out to Elmo with the news. The Titans are signing veteran Nick Folk. Hey, that's the one guy we looked at yesterday. 1 year, $3.75 million. So it sounds like the Lions probably won't be signing another kicker in free agency. I mean, based on that, we looked at the kicker market. That was like the one guy you guys wasn't that the guy you guys were pointing out? You're like, what about Nick Folk? He was doing his thing last year. He's no longer available. Yeah, there you go. Elmo brought it up. Yep. Too hype. That's the thing. The go to the Lions. Hey, I appreciate you, MFE. How you doing, man? I appreciate you. Any word on Rad joining us anytime soon? Soon. I'll say that. So it's gonna be like an album drop when it happens. Like y'all will have no idea. But no, it's gonna happen soon, man. He's figured some stuff out on his side, and then hopefully we get some consistency that's rolling in. Plus, next up is the draft, so we're gonna find ways to make a lot of things happen. Wanted Reader on the last contract. I feel you on this one. But anyway, so when I was watching Mike Williams, and I can honestly throw up some clips of Mike Williams. Honestly, a couple things stood out. I would say the key things, without just reading through my notes, one thing that stood out to me was his ability to actually do some things once the ball got in his hands. I didn't know that this was actually like an aspect of his game. And then when you watch the Chargers and see the amount of they had a lot of RPOs within their offense. By the way, their offense, at a lot of times, it felt kind of like bland last year. I'm not even going to lie, bro. Like, I was like, I don't know. Rad going to the draft. I think, hey, I can't say anything officially for him, but the plan is that he will be at the draft. Chat, that's the plan. Now, I'm not going to put that out there, be like, he's going to be there, so blame him if he's not, but we've had discussions. That is the hope that he's going to be there at the draft with us, that he'll be there. So we'll do some sort of meetup there, which would be awesome. But that was the plan, honestly, since during the season, is that we were going to make something like that happen. So if that happens, and when I can confirm that, I'll probably be there in some sense. So I could probably confirm that some way, somehow I'll probably be there, but I'll let y'all know if we can confirm him being there, and then we can figure out something like some sort of meetup if anybody wants to say what's up, because everybody should be pretty local. Most people. I appreciate you to do your homework, unlike some other podcasters. Props. Hey, I appreciate you too, Murray. Appreciate it. Hey, look, I'm laying this out there. Free agency is a disaster for me because there's too many darn players. All right. I need to go get a pick in front of that clock. Facts. I need to get that too. I haven't even seen the clock yet. I'm there all the time. I haven't even seen the clock yet. But no, I was surprised at how much he could actually do after the catch. So they have a lot of wide receiver screens within their game. And I wasn't surprised that he could block a little bit for screens. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But the ability to do things with the ball in his hands, he showed some contact balance, which was real, right? He's got a lot of physicality. He can kind of stride through just people reaching out with their arms. But there was effectiveness there. And I think last season, he actually averaged over 5 yards after the catch statistically. So I saw the number and I was kind of, And then I watched him, like, that's actually a pretty big part of his game. So I don't know, maybe teams try to pull back on that, whoever signs him, and they're like, we don't want to keep getting him hit. But on the flip side, it's like, this is an aspect of his game. Did you see they tendered Houston to right? Yes, we saw that right at the beginning of the stream. So Brock Wright we knew of. Brock Wright was the restricted free agent. So they did the right of refusal tender on that. But yes, James Houston today saw that announcement as an exclusive rights free agent. He's officially back. And then same thing with KO'd, which is amazing. So 2 guys that probably will have a video at some point today. I'm going to have to end this thing relatively short because I have to jump on a show that's starting at 6:15 over there on Roundtable Sports. So definitely go check us out. But I don't remember what I was about to say. Oh, yeah, we'll probably have a video on those 2 guys, just like updating kind of that news. But yeah, I did see that. Those of us that study the Lions all day come to Neon and learn more. Brent, man, I appreciate you. I'll be there. That took that week off of work as soon as it's announced. Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, come on, man. I love to hear that. Chat, put a 1 if you're planning on going to the draft. I don't know how they're going to make this work either. I really have no idea. If you're planning on going to the draft for any day in person, put a 1 in the chat. Let me get a sense of how many people are actually going to be there. I need to know, man. Because I know I'm pretty darn sure I'm going to be there. Unless something crazy pops up that I didn't expect and we do something really different. Yeah. I mean, I was like, this guy has to rub back. I don't know what we're waiting for. Same thing with James. Oh, there's a lot of ones. There's a lot of ones. There's 2. Okay, triggered easily. Yeah, out of the area. Let me go. Brad Holmes has an evil genius type plan. I bet 1-1. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of y'all there. All right, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll drop the link. All right, I'll send the link over. Let me send that right now. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. Like, I kind of have an idea of what we're talking about tonight, but not really. They, usually try to get an idea. I don't really know what we're talking about. I'm assuming we're just talking about free agency. Hopefully we are, because if not, I'm going to be lost. Okay, where is? All right, let me get it from my. It's not showing on my screen. Oh, I got it. Okay, yeah, it is about free agency. Yeah, I just read the link. Okay, we're talking about free agency. So all the NFC North content creators will be there to talk about free agency. So if you want to know about Bears, Vikings, Packers, what their thoughts are, the link should post. Click that link, man, or just copy paste it, throw it in the search bar. 6:15 Eastern time. It usually starts a tad late, but that's really important. But yeah, so Mike Williams was someone that just caught my eye though, because you're talking about a dude that's 6'4", 218, 29 years old. So he's definitely not like in the maybe long-term part. I mean, he could be for somebody. He's not really fitting into that extremely well. The Lions forum called the Den. I've heard of that. I saw that recently on social media. I've never actually like. No, here's what I did. I looked up myself and I saw myself on there. I saw myself on there, and someone was like, "Bro, he talks too fast." I was like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense, of course. Turn on film with me against top receivers. I'm telling you, bro. I mean, look, like I said, the numbers say one thing. Last year was statistically his worst season, and I've only read through a little bit of Carlton Davis. But that one game, I was like, kind of cooked. And then, Chad, I love this explanation about playing left cornerback, because I love the idea of how that fits, how that offsets with Cam Sutton. Then once you start to throw the aspect, well, they throw it more often towards the left side. It's more natural, right? So they throw it more off to the left side of the field. We're all out of right-handed quarterbacks. Then you think about the size that he brings, the ability to step up and press. And that makes a ton of sense. So I don't know. I just thought that was a pretty interesting take. So shout out to Carlton Davis for bringing that up. But yeah, I mean, I won't keep going into I actually will. I'm going to say a couple more things about just get my thoughts out there. Mike Williams, to me, the hands are what stand out, right? Big hands, right? This is a guy that fearless in traffic, which I loved. This is a guy that plucks it with his hands. He's good on screen, but also second, third level. He's just got a huge wide radius when you throw it to him. I love him, like I said, in space. He's a jump ball threat, especially once you get to the back of the end zone. He just boxes people out. They were like throwing trees. That's what it looked like. It's like you had a bunch of trees running routes, and they could just throw it up to him. Now they have Quentin Johnston, so this was part of the move. Now, obviously, he didn't play much last year, so it made sense why they made this move. And then in terms of separation, while I didn't feel like it was – he didn't seem like the guy that was constantly, like, putting you on your heels. Like, if you're an off-man – I appreciate you, like, if you're an off-man coverage, like, he wouldn't consistently get you, like, shaking, like, oh, man, he's going to beat me over top. Like, you never felt that sense. For whatever reason, it was like it just didn't give you off that threat. Right? Even though vertically he could run and he could run crossers, he was still effective on level 1 routes, and he opened up to being able to run all routes, run drags, run crossers, and to run after catch. I think someone brought up Tyrell Williams, right? And you kind of get the sense that, like, okay, he can still do things underneath. But then once you talk about like opening up cornerbacks, he didn't feel like he could threaten cornerbacks as much as he would like. Yet he still had a little nuance into the top of the route, right? He utilized his hands well. He could keep himself relatively clean. He had some agility off the line, even though that wasn't always perfect, trying to open up guys. Obviously, it was really tough to move off the spot, so he could just kind of play through defenders. But for me, it was that kind of ability, kind of just wall guys off. I had visions of some of the type of routes that we throw to Josh Reynolds that you could throw to Mike Williams inside the 10, right? The fake toss, come back, get the slant. It's like those kind of things. I was like, well, the back of the end zone, like third read for Goff, you throw it up high. It's like, dude, this guy, Josh Reynolds, is right there. You're talking about doing 6'4" with hands like that? That would be disgusting. So I don't think we're gonna be a team that throws fades. Oh, my mic's breaking up. My fault. Let me. I know why that is now. I think I should know. I mean, if I don't, hold up. look, last time it was the issue that I had two the mics on the same thing. I had two different mics set as the same thing. So should be better now. Let me know, chat. Should be better though. Glue it. Yeah. I'll have to do that off stream, to be honest with you. I'll do. And that thing, it wasn't even unplugged. Like that was, you guys were just saying it was messed up. So I think it just connected wrong when I did it the last time. So there we go. Hopefully it's better now. But yeah, so to me, like there was certain routes. Okay, awesome. There were certain routes that like reminded me of Josh Reynolds. I don't necessarily, from the little that I watched, view him as like, okay, this guy is just Josh Reynolds. Like he's just Josh Reynolds, but bigger or something like that. Like I feel like there was definitely a different skill set. Like, for example, some of the speed out routes and some of the, digs and things like that, where I really feel like you get a lot of effectiveness from Josh Reynolds, that he actually runs pretty well, but could be a little bit underrated. And he's also really good with timing with his zone stuff. Mike Williams, to me, didn't get the vibe that he'd be consistent at creating separation, that he'd probably get a little bit more contested looks, but he probably could give you better run after catch than Josh Reynolds. And obviously, he's much better in terms of you could just put the ball up. And some of those red zone reads that we do, it would be insane. So I like it. I mean, I don't expect it to happen, but I thought I'd at least look into it when the move took place. And yeah, we have a bets video that's going to be coming soon. Michael Banks called me out on that. He's like, yo, where's that bets video at? And I was like, man, I was going to wait because it's free agency. I didn't think it would fit, but it's coming. It's going to happen. That's what I would think. I mean, look, I think he's going to get paid a good amount. I think he's taking his time to see what's out there, but I do think he comes back. Okay, so there's that. I just want Brad to go best player available. Yeah, I mean, I don't really doubt that he will. I mean, he does. You know what I mean? Like there's always a need factor, right? And I think a lot of that need factor just stems from, okay, do we have a core piece already there? All right, we're probably not going to draft right on top of that guy then. You know what I mean? Like, okay, why would I draft on top of him and take away his role if I really like him? Because he likes the guys that he drafts. So I think naturally it kind of sorts itself out from the needs side of things, where it's not as like we have to put a list together, but we already know that we have a Lee McNeil, so I'm not going to draft a Lee McNeil again. But at the same time, it's also, I'm with you. Like, I don't doubt that he's going to take best player available. I'm trying to keep every option open. And I think the free agency has kind of done that. The only, really what we know now is like, okay, you need a darn guard. But if they go sign DJ Reader, I mean, you could add into your defensive lineman, but are we sitting there at the draft saying it has to happen? No, not really. I mean, you could. But if they believe more in Levi, and I mean, like, you're really only looking at guard that kind of has to be a draft pick at some point, or an offensive lineman that could play guard. That's how Brett, it's just worked really well. It's worked really well. And they've done that without all different like amount of money to spend, since he's gotten here. I remember we took Sewell for a long time. It was like, take a tackle. Like there was like it's like, we don't need to take a tackle. And they did. It worked. When we signed Reader, but could you see, wait, I'm sorry. Could you see Reader and Armstead? So you're like, we're signing DJ Reader. I couldn't see both. No, I'd be surprised. I hear what you're saying here. I wouldn't want him consistently as my defensive end, specifically because especially as a pass rusher. He'd be effective. I wouldn't see a clear-cut role for this to actually make sense for him. Now with what we have on the roster, I also don't think it's necessary. I wouldn't want to put that much money between both of them. I would go after one. I would prefer DJ Reader. I think Reader is a much easier, seamless fit for this defense. But especially if we're talking about multi-year deals for both. Now, if I got one of them on a one-year deal and I could financially make it work, and it's like, hey, Armstead, 1-year deal, I'm on board with that. Like, hey, but if I was giving multi-year deals to both, I don't think they'll do that. I need to watch Deion's video on him. I saw the Senior Bowl and Combine. Oh, the one on Darius. Yeah. You gotta watch that one. That's a good one. Okay. We got the DEs. We good, in my opinion. DT, please. I mean, I'm with you, man. I hear you on that. Okay, so the other guys I just want to bring up, right? And first off, appreciate y'all joining, man, to this point. I just want to bring a couple more. So there's two other guys. One of them I saw in the chat. I can't remember about it. Quentin Jefferson. I think that's how you pronounce his name, from the Jets. I was like, okay, let me peek at him because I know he's one of the more relevant names that are still available. And did I see the signing? Did something just go down? Oh, here you go. Oh, chat. How about that? Bobby Wagner, a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Huh. Okay. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on that because if I remember correctly, the linebacker room's kind of just up in the air. I'm trying to think of who their here. Let me look it up real quick. I'm trying to think of who their full linebacker room was even last year. No one really stood out from watching their games on the linebacker room. I know their secondary really well. Let me see. Linebackers right now Yeah, they don't have anybody on the roster. That's why. Chad, they don't have anybody on the roster. There's nobody on the roster. Okay. I was like, I can't think of any of their linebackers. That would make sense. Actually, maybe that's just not updated. There's just nobody listed here. Yeah, they don't have anybody on the roster. Okay, no, timeout. They brought in Frankie Louvu, so they just weren't updating what they did. So last year, but no, this year, yeah, okay, they have Frankie Louvu, and they tied him. They have Jamin Davis, of course. But now they tie Frankie Louvu with Bobby Wagner. That's an interesting combination because Frankie's not like super young. Like it's not. Talent there. They added Jeremy Chin. I didn't know they did that. Okay, so they got Jeremy Chin in there. Derek Forrest was good last season. Their cornerback position is just young. St. Juice was nice though last year. Emmanuel Forbes, he was benched for a lot of the season, but I think he ended up coming back and starting again. So look, man, that's like a foundation piece. I feel like you plug him in, and that's just kind of like let's stabilize what we have going on here because we're kind of all out of sorts. Let's plug him next to Louvu. Let's get a really strong linebacker room. And again, we're seeing this, man. Like, he's not the highest paid backer, but the value of linebackers is still there. And I think it's coming to life right now. That was my prediction after, stepping back from the whole Campbell situation, all this stuff. I think we're seeing it come to life. Hey, Dose, if we don't get Reader, are you good with Sheldon Rankins? Oh, I can't read. Sheldon Rankins in the Super Bowl role. I would say no. And that sounds crazy. And I won't go too deep into this because it was kind of in my video but last night. But to me, what's froze? I'm frozen? Hello. But no, to me, Sheldon Rankins, like from last season, I had him in the top 5. I'm very intrigued by his pass rush ability. It's very much so there. He has connections with the staff, but his inconsistency against the run, he can't fill the same role as DJ Reader. I froze for a second. Oh, okay. Probably because I was on the other tab. But yeah, he can't fill the same role to me. Like, I don't think he brings the main value that DJ Reader can bring is he's big time against the run. That's actually like what Sheldon Rankins isn't good at. He obviously comes out the field in those spots. So I would say no, not to fill that role. Now, if we added Sheldon Rankins and you're saying we just added Rankins and we didn't add Reader, I think it'd be a valuable asset to put in the interior because now I can hit the draft, say, okay, Broderick, if we can get a nice little step here from the run, let's go add another interior defensive line when we hit the draft. Let's get a guy that definitely can play feel good about he can stop the run. Rankins then gives you kind of a piece that you can rotate in. Definitely can put him out there on third downs. Interior pressure, we need the depth anyway. So the value would still be there, but he could not fill the role of DJ Reader to me. Like he couldn't fill it whatsoever. And I don't think the Lions are interested in him. I really don't. Like, I know I put him on the top 5, and I could be wrong. Maybe they sign him. And like I said, there's value towards the player. He's on my top 5 defense tackle video, but I don't think the Lions have any interest in bringing him in. I think they showed they had interest in bringing in Marcus Davenport. I think that was clear. Like, hey, he's a former Saint, but when he's been on the field, he's produced and he's played the run and the pass. I think this guy, they're not that interested in. Okay. Did anyone sign Chase Young? Yeah, this is true. He would be very effective there. So if I had Boa, yeah. Did someone sign Chase Young? I didn't see any. I mean, is something just happened to this point? No. That's something just happened. Chase Young's a weird one too, man, because his run defense, it does look like he's not doing anything on a lot of attempts. He's still a very good pass rusher. He's a very good pass rusher, even when the trade deadline. Oh, has he gotten signed? No? Okay. Someone just said he's a Saint. Okay, that's just okay. But even when he was at the trade deadline, he was still a very good pass rusher. Like, this guy can get after the quarterback. Outside of that, though, it's like, oh goodness. So, man. Doseism, something Dose says that you never heard before. Wait, what'd I say? Hold up, what'd I say? Did I make something up? Good, because we play Seattle again this year. All right, I missed something there. Seattle's the circus right now. Oh, I got you. Yeah. I got you. I'd sign it if it under $20 million a season. Oh, for Reader? Yeah, I don't think he'd cost $20 million a season. I don't think he would. And it'd be mainly because of the injury that he's coming off of. I don't know. It's weird because the value of a guy that can do both is incredible. Drove through a double accident. What'd I miss? Oh, snap. That's not good. Yeah, it's like, it's just on the, well, I would say this, his pursuit isn't there. Like on the backside of run plays, he would just kind of stand there. There was no pursuit to the football. So that was I don't know. It was like he could never play the run. Like if you ran towards him, could he be effective? Yeah, but you just didn't get like extra. You didn't feel like there was a fire towards his game. He can rush the passer though, and his talent to rush the passer. Okay, where we at? So let's but yeah, oh yeah, no on Young for me too. I'm good on that. I don't think I think after that, I feel really good with Davenport, bro. I feel really good about what we have. Do you think Seattle takes Carter? We would have took Witherspoon. Yes. I think if Witherspoon was there, Witherspoon would have been our draft pick. From everything that I've heard, I think that's the way they would have gone. And again, here's the thing about Witherspoon, right? So my whole thing was last year, and this is why you got to take it and learn, right? Okay, what are they actually looking for? I thought Gonzalez was the best corner, and we'll see. It all is scheme fit. They're all different. Joey Porter Jr. was great too. But the thing is Gonzalez and Witherspoon, they were very clearly different players. But Witherspoon lived in off-man coverage. He lived in anticipating route breaks, high football intelligence and awareness, breaking on the football, making plays on the ball, playing with crazy aggressiveness. And like a guy like Amik Robertson, for example, he's not that. But at the same time, that's how he takes the football away. Like that's how he's aggressive. He can read route development. He can dive on the football. So he brings that route. Christian Gonzalez, to me, was so darn fluid. He could press, right? He wouldn't grab. I loved how he moved as a corner. It's like, this is the dang corner. You could just put in a dang lab and it would come out like this guy. But, that's just not what they were looking for. I don't think they were. Because to my man said, the fact that Gonzalez was there at 17, it was like, shoot, go up and get the guy. But no. Would you add another cornerback? I think no. I think no to this point. I was fine with an Adoree Jackson idea. I like what we did better with Carlton Davis, so I'm happy about that. I would say no. I mean, that's not to say I wouldn't add any cornerback. I think there's potentially cornerbacks out there that I would still be cool with adding. I don't think either of those two I would add. I like with Carlton. I feel like, again, if you're healthy going into a game, if you were telling me our cornerbacks were healthy, I'd love the group that we have right now. But Carlton Davis is a starter if healthy. I think Mosley and Cam Sutton battle for a starting position, and Amik Robertson throws himself in there too. You have your starting slot already, but now you also have a backup in Amik Robertson as well. I think you got 5 nice corners. There's 5 corners that I really like. And that's not, based on any kind of draft predictions. It's just based on what we've seen. What we've seen on the field with Sanfran, Emmanuel Mosley. I really liked it. Thought he could start. Cam Sutton. Now, Cam Sutton, I wasn't the most high on Cam Sutton. We signed him. I thought he'd play slot, but there were things that I liked about him coming from Pittsburgh. He's just not a number 1. Things that you liked about him. Carlton Davis, from what I see so far, that dude could be you're number 1 in today's NFL that's not Sauce Gardner. He can get himself into that category, right? He can offset a lot of what we have. So I really like our cornerback room. I wouldn't be mad with adding something else to that, but I really like what we have. So I think deals like Adoree Jackson, where it's like he's coming off a down year, but at one point he played at a really high level, earned a big time extension with the Giants, has a lot of the traits. I don't think I would dive into that. Or a guy that's coming off of injury, for example. Kendall Fuller, 29 years old. I don't know where maybe his deal gets cheaper, but if Kendall Fuller was like a cheap 1-year deal, I mean, hey, give me that. But Kendall Fuller being that he's probably, I think Kendall Fuller is probably going to get pretty good, darn good money. I think he's just waiting for it, but I think it's going to happen. I wouldn't want to necessarily throw myself to that. I'd prefer take that money, go bolster that interior defensive line, and let's go hit another one in the draft. Because if I fill up my cornerback room with free agents, I want guys in there that can develop. I want to leave spots for guys that can step into roles and develop. I don't want to fill it all with free agents. How does Gonzalez compare to Cooper DeJean? Man, that's a good question. I think there's similarity. I think there's big time similarities. I think Gonzalez was more natural. I think Gonzalez more natural in press. Go off the top of my head. I can pull up my notes, but top of my head, it's in my notebook. I think it was more natural as a press corner. I think Cooper DeJean has a lot of the athletic traits, and some of them probably to another level, especially when you talk about ball skills, maybe even run support as well. But I think in a lot of ways, Gonzalez was more natural in just his movement, his ability to open. I think it was more natural in a lot of those ways as well. But Cooper DeJean, he's got real flexibility. That's the kind of guy that I think, could fit pretty much in any defense because you could just find a spot for him. Okay, let's hope Mosley can stay healthy. I know, dude. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I want to see him play. I'm glad they brought him back. I'm glad they took a shot on him and brought him back. Gave him a chance, man, because last year didn't count. Let's do it again. All right. So so we're hitting 550 here. How fast do I think Cooper is? I would have to pull it back up, bro. Oh, the roar. You got to so this is the new one I got. Very excited, actually. I'm very excited about this notebook. This is a big one. So when I got this notebook, I was pretty fired up. All right. I was like, this is sweet. It's from like 1972, but I rock with it. And then this was my draft book. This one is, this is my draft book. I think Cooper DeJean might be in here. This is one of them. Let me see. It kind of transitioned into a draft book, to be honest with you, because some of the first pages are just me prepping for games. So let me see. He might not be in this one. I have a couple of these. See, and this is the mess that I. So, hey, I got some of those. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. You like they're sleeves, right? So you slide it into this. You slide it in the paper into the sleeve. I got those. I'm gonna take them out, put them in there. It's gonna look so good, bro. I'm so excited to do that. Hey, yo, old school. Hey, that's the way to do it, though. I love homework, whatever. I like writing it down. I hate typing. I hate typing, man. I hate it. I'm not great at it either. I just hate doing it. Also, it drives my eyes crazy. This is so off topic, dude. Trying to read something, like if you give me like a book on a screen, it drives my eyes nuts. I hate it. Okay. We didn't free it, so we can move up. You could. Yeah, you definitely could. I draft a cornerback, but other than that, we probably get a cornerback. I think so. Yeah, I think we could be. I think they'll add someone else. You'll probably want to have more bodies for camp. You'll probably want to push like 8 instead of 6, right? I mean, well, you guys you have Stephen Gilmore, so maybe another one in there. But yeah, in terms of like legitimately who I think is going to play, I think you're in a pretty good spot if you draft one. Yeah, if I would be pretty surprised if he got to 29 because I think his traits are insane. But I don't know. At one point I've tried to stay away from the mocks. I saw someone take him like 4. I'm like 4. Like, wait a minute, 4. Hold up. Like, yo, I liked him, but I didn't like him like that. I'm like, hold up, 4. So I don't know. Seems like people are kind of split on where they think he's gonna go. I don't think he's in this notebook. No, I'm getting to receivers right now. Yeah, he's not in this notebook. All right, it's in my another one. It's whatever. All right, blue light. I have blue lights. I love them. You're right though. Blue light glasses are where they're at. I just can't do it, bro. They drive me nuts. Blue light glasses drive my eyes crazy too. I ain't gonna lie. But you're speaking facts. I just gotta stop breaking them. All right, that's what I gotta stop breaking them. Jackson Power. I would say Cooper probably does. I take that back. Hold up. Well, here's the other two I have. I don't know enough of the offensive linemen, to be honest with you, at the top of the draft. I know there's some tackles up there that'll go before he does, but interior offensive lineman, he could definitely, from what I've seen, he could be worth being the top interior offensive lineman. I would say Cooper, though, right now. Try using voice to text. I might have to go back to that. I tried it for a minute. I might have to go back to that. Yeah. I turned the orange light on, then I turned it off, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of helping. I don't know, man. It's bad. Okay. I want to wrap this up with something good. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. So Hunter Renfro's a free agent. Officially, Eric Armstead's a free agent. Keep an eye on that one. I was watching him a little bit again today. Like I said, 21 games the past 2 seasons. I believe he had surgery right after the season ended. He's had injuries that he's had to deal with. It's really shown up over the last 2 seasons. And it was specifically a meniscus injury. He's had shoulder injuries, foots. Those, I mean, everybody gets injured, but it's been the last 2 years for him. Big reason that he's available. He's 30 years old. Like I said, the two interior defensive linemen I took a look at, and I don't think the Lions are going to be that interested in either of these guys. But, just something to keep in mind. I think Tim Settle has intriguing traits. He's young enough. He's 26. He's got the size, 33-inch arm, 6'3", 313. He's like, if you had him in a box and you just opened the box and he just took off, that's what he looks like when he played. Like, he's completely wild. The flip side is, though, I would like to see this guy with really good coaching. Like, this looks like the type of player that has like a lot of things that you like, but he's like on the ground all the time because he's just flying around. If you could get him with a coach and just kind of be like, bro, we got to slow down. You're good. Slow down. Hey, stop trying to just jump the one gap. Like, let's pull it back a little bit. They put him in a 3 technique. He's trying to split it it's like, let's pull it back. There's things that I like there. But for me, that's one of the most intriguing young guys left. Outside of that, the other 2 that I looked at today, Lawrence Guy from New England. I've always rocked with Lawrence Guy as a player. I don't really know his off the field stuff or anything like that, but 34 years old. He just doesn't do anything in pressure. I've watched a little bit of Coleman. I'm going to watch more of him. I watched a little bit of him. He was one of the first, I think, tackles that I looked at. But he's, 34 years old, had 6 pressures this past season, really didn't do anything there. But as a run defender, there is value, and I think it's specifically because he plays along the defensive line. Like, he's played nose tackle. He's kicked out a little bit wider. He brings length that can really help you against the run as well, just under 33 inches. There's power. He has a run sense, too. There's like a feel to get to the football. It's not like the most athletically or, he doesn't stand out there at all. He doesn't really do much as a pass rusher whatsoever. But as a run defender with flexibility, maybe something like that. And then, like I said, Quentin Jefferson, the almost 31-year-old defensive tackle from the Jets. He's 29. He's 30. Excuse me. He's about to be 31 years old. Another guy with good lengths that can play on the interior. He played between defensive end and defensive tackle this past year, but he also played, again, like kind of that nose tackle role at times. He's a little bit different too, man. You talk about like some of the build. His issues to me it felt like a lot of times against the run, but you talk about pressures. If you're looking at interior guys that can get pressure, right? So we talk about Sheldon Rankins. He is another guy that does check that box statistically. He had 29 pressures this past season. So he's another guy that does throw himself into there. Like, hey, I got some pressures too. His run defense was very hit and miss, I thought. High pad level, late to recognize the block scheme. His hand usage wouldn't keep him clean consistently. His lower body power was also kind of lacking, but you did have ways to win. He could close. He could get an edge and win off of that. So if you're talking more of the pass rush bag, there's something there. And he can play the run a little bit, but it was kind of messy. So those are just 3 guys keeping out. I also threw in Austin Johnson, but never really loved Austin Johnson. I just kind of threw him in there. Size 6'4", 314. He had 16 pressures this past year. What edge? The top 2 won't fall, like D. Robinson, but is he a power DE like guys we have? Or you're asking if Robinson's a power DE? Go check out my video, Brent. Come on, man. Go check my video. Because we're about to wrap this thing up here, man. It's pushing 6 o'clock. I appreciate it. Hey, I apologize, by the way, that we started later here. We have that show 6:15 Eastern time. Click that link. I'm gonna rethrow it in the chat right here. Bam. If y'all can click that or copy paste it, we're gonna be live. And what that is me, Packers guy, Bears guy, Vikings guy. We're gonna be talking about free agency, what we've done so far. If y'all do join, get in the chat. Give me some one prides. Give me some Lions hype. All right, just blow up the chat. Blow up the chat, please, because I want to get, like everybody seeing that. Like, let's get some Lion. I'm tired of hearing the Packers stuff. All right, that's it. I just don't want to hear it. So let's get that going a little bit, because they're all gonna be hyped up about. We got Josh Jacobs. Get some grits in the chat. Get some grits in the chat. It's zero fun. No, it's more fun because they can take so many guys. That's why it's more fun. You got to keep your options open. Develop second or third. I think I liked Isaac better than Ellis from what I've seen so far. Ellis is like super slim. I wonder if he can break out of that mold or can get a little bit bigger. I do wonder about that. Mashed potatoes. All right. Hey, okay, I know what you're doing. Pick on Bears guy for Swift signing. I will pick on. See, I got no issues with Swift, so I don't want to hate. I don't want to hate. 6:15 Eastern. But that was shocking. That was shocking. I was, oh goodness. Okay, Bears. You know what I mean? If they start it, we'll end it. You know what I mean? Best player. Yeah, but then is he the same guy though? Because he moves really well right now, especially because he keeps his pad level low so consistently. But is he the same guy if you put on 20 to 30 pounds? That'd be the question. It's much more fun next year. That's true. No, that's true. That's true. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. Any chat, anything else you guys wanted to touch on that I didn't touch on or that I missed something? I'm going to check, make sure I didn't miss any news. We may be live again tomorrow. I don't want to confirm that. We may be live again tomorrow. If something goes down, we may or may not be. Carlton Davis on his memory of the Lions game in Tampa Bay, it was just blue everywhere. I didn't hear him say that. That must have been before we saw the presser. That's awesome. Oh, well, I guess it was at home, though, too. So that's. Wait, bro, timeout. Chat. Wait, timeout. It's set for 6:15 unless they moved it back. They might have pushed it to 6:30. Did we sign anyone today? No, not today. I'll take that back. So I will have a video that comes out probably at some point. Quick, short video, short, sweet video. James Houston is back, exclusive rights free agent, as well as KO'd He is also back to guard, exclusive rights free agent. So both those guys are back. So I will throw that out there. Outside of that, I think that's the only news. Unless it still says 6:15. Okay, so it's set for 6:15. Then yeah, there's gonna be waiting for me to jump in there. So yeah, I'm gonna. He's not officially a Lion, but we're hoping he is. He's gonna meet with the Lions tomorrow, apparently. So if we knew what time he was gonna meet, I'd go live right when they were meeting with him just to get fired up. But Dollar General Holmes grinding the bargain bins. Wait, what? That's crazy, bro. I think that's the first time I heard that one. He said Dollar General Holmes. Dollar General Holmes, man. That's crazy. Hey, man. Anyways, I appreciate y'all joining. I'll see y'all soon. Check out the video, man. If y'all missed anything. Last night we put that late DJ Reader video out. So if y'all want to see that, it's definitely up there. Tomorrow, Reader signing. It went out late, so it probably didn't post for everybody to see it. Go stalk the airport tomorrow. Just go sit in the airport, bro. We'll go live from the airport. Can we get a DOD shop logoed shirt that Davis was wearing today? Oh, dang. Hey, I wish I could make that. Hold up. We'd be all wearing the off-brand version of it. It does look fire, though. That looks so darn comfy. It looks like dude's wearing a whole pillow. All right. Ain't nothing wrong with Goodwill. Shout out to Goodwill. Deuces. Appreciate y'all joining. I'll see y'all soon. Click that link. Join me over there. And I'm out. Have a great night.